I'm Deb Helfrich, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk, and I'm also the founder of hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy. Cannabis saved my life, and the pandemic reality of plantation capitalism almost forced me to go extinct. Now, I had a toxic mold exposure in 2014 that came on top of lifelong morbid obesity. I'm autistic as fuck, which is its own sort of superpower, but which can cause an intense sensory overwhelm that is like a multi-system shutdown. Adding the impetus of the mold into that system very nearly ended my life. When I turned 50, I was 333 pounds. Had lost well over 80% of my ability to walk and talk. In my 40s, I was utterly alone in the world and broke because who could work when you can't walk and talk? Somehow, some way, using my thinking equipment, I pulled together a number of energy modalities, like tuning forks. They are always with me. Cannabis, ecstatic trance dancing, lots of sleep. I'm sorry to everyone. I got very triggered. That is what happens. That's a autistic thing. My dog is having a moment and she's not letting the show go on, and I'm very concerned for her. She's been with me in 11 months of homelessness. She's been with me for 12 years. She lived in the moldy apartment with me, which is why I can say she's also having sensory overwhelm. I used to would have been not ashamed entirely, but would have felt it unwise to share my meltdown. I had to put on a veneer of being A-okay, because being alone in the world, as we all know, you can't show the world who you are. But I'm right now, having been optimized by cannabis and realizing we're all having these things. They manifest in entirely different ways, and they cause a whole bunch of... Here's the deal with this. We have these nervous systems that are just attending to everything around us. And most of us have atrophied the sense that I'm aware of the most, which is sense of smell. I'm the redhead in the coal mine of the ways that we are all suffering from climate change. That's right. The excess carbon is not just out in some hypothetical atmosphere, almost inconceivably beyond your grasp. There's excess carbon monoxide right here. It's a cold morning in Napa. All of the Starbucks people have been exhausting while me and my dog were walking, which is why both of us are in a state of disarray. We were blasted. Our entire sensory organism is now hyper alert to excess carbon monoxide, which is deadly. I'm asking you to help me find a reputable media source to tell my cannabis saved my life story. It's fascinating. I can't smoke, which is what all of that breakdown proves to you. I mean, I am. Hook me up to any imaging. Physiological and neuroimaging is what I'm ultimately on a trajectory to, sharing my story with medical science. Hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy is a set of hypotheses that save human lives. Because I never distrusted the truth of my body, that my sensory inputs were as dramatic as they appear to be. And our society said, oh, that's crazy. Oh, you're too sensitive. Just don't think like that. I said, no, my body has no reason to lie to me. Your body has no reason to lie to you. It's your BFF. I mean that sincerely. Your body's trying to keep you alive. All those cravings, all those crazy outbursts, everything about you is your body trying to keep you alive. Oh, your soul too. Sometimes we have moral injury. Big one in my life today. I'd offered to help somebody with the very same things that I have, and she labels them chronic fatigue, but a mold exposure. The response I got from my so-called friend because in the faulty, flawed, and fraudulent paradigms we live with under of Western thought, we don't understand how human functioning works. I've become the Sherlock of human functioning. I can tell a better story. I can see things in all of the crimes against our health. I can tie them together and eliminate all of the impossible things. And as improbable as it might seem, cannabis is crucial to keep all of us alive and optimize our thinking equipment if we don't want to be the generation of adults who self-extinct our species. Things are going extraordinarily wrong entirely more quickly than any of us can comprehend. Is that not what the pandemic felt like? Is that not what our social impact? Is that not what can't say gay? How is where the you see, I've become an extraordinary performance artist. I'm working to stand on a stage. I'm 53, turning 53. That's why I'm coming out to you. Need your help. I'm broke. I've been living in my car for 11 months. Me and my dog are experiencing CTSD, current trauma stress disorder. All the Western people be focused on post. Years later, who you see focused on addressing all the trauma we going through right now? Just, you as an individual, just endure the trauma, and then eventually the trauma will stop. I mean, if your trauma is a crime, maybe there'll be some people you could go to. But there's a lot more trauma and neglect than crime. All right, so I'm going to stand on a stage, Socratic monologue. Hashtag redheaded She-Hulk persona. The cannabis companies who help me right now, in the entire industry, and every human who has an ECS, and every animal that has the ECS, I'm working to save our species from self-extinction. There ain't no job description and no corporation. And you don't get to just show up at 51 and say, hey, I'm an entertainer. Oh, the entertainment industry, they got moats. They got gates. But I got a cannabis-fueled body, mind, and soul. So I just keep creating and creating. I'm like, somebody gonna see me. Somebody gonna see me. And then it's attempted murder by algorithmic abuse. My only contact with humanity is LinkedIn. It's the place where cannabis is actually not tracked down and hunted as if it needs to go extinct. Cannabis professionals and businesses. I've pitched well over 100 times my Cannabis Saves My Life story. Now here's the thing, I don't smoke. I have a proprietary way. I mean, it's not like, it's a lot simpler than RSO, which is my point. I have had fantastic life-saving results, and I have a theory as to why. And so I would like to have somebody sponsor me to stay alive right now. I need some cannabis. I need to run some self-experiments. I'm at the mercy of the supply chain. I would like to find a cultivator to have, a strain that I can produce in a few different ways to understand the temperature of the decarbing and the length of the marinade and et cetera, in my little custom little concoction. That could be an ebook, a viral evergreen content, especially for the mid-aged female consumer who's running the decisions for their health, for their family. Kids and animals should be ingesting coconut the way I do. I'm not over here asking for charity. I've been trying to work, and it's like nobody's brain works well enough. Because, cannabis and what it does to our brain is not just recreation. I mean, it feels like it in this society where we're all imprisoned in cubicle captivity. But actually, that altered state of consciousness is what we experienced a lot as hunters and gatherers. You can do it endogenously. I do it endogenously. That's how I've survived for 11 months and just keep plugging on. And you'll see, oh my goodness. Go to LinkedIn. Go to my YouTube channel, #Right-Headed She-Hulk, #Wellbeing Philosophy. Working. Nobody can see me because the code shares content based on popularity, based on what it's already seen you like. If somebody's brand the fuck new, they go extinct. In the Ponzi scheme of social media, we've lost the ability for world evolvers to stay alive. All right, that's been enough. Yeah, so PayPal me. No, don't PayPal me. Cash at me. Sorry, I'm very uncomfortable asking for money. But I'm good at performing how all of the slips and the flubs and the things that we just don't work. No, it's our bodies and our brains and our souls telling us we are uncomfortable. We do this. So, cash at me. $ Deb Helfrich. Venmo me. You got to look for my stuff. Go to my website. Deb Helfrich. One word. DebHelfrich.squarespace.com. Help me help all y'all. And I will alter everything about the faulty, flawed, and fraudulent thinking in Western. There's a lot of good data. Let me be clear. There's a lot of good data. But they've neglected ancestral wisdom. They've neglected intuition. They've neglected to consult a wise feminine philosopher to pull the story all together in a much more holistic way that utilizes logic plus love intertwined. All right, I got to go. Harmony. Deb Helfrich. #Right-Headed She-Hulk.